to week 5 at linemark.com. I'm Alex Irving, and super glad you're with us. Let me spin it around. Woohoo! We'll head back up. Anyway, today, the guys are on a night shift in Preston. So a little bit bumpy. Woo. Anyway, as I was saying, they are on a night shift up in Preston. I'm gonna head into the office, but I've just been up to the farm, get a few bits sorted out here. Let me just open up 1 secundo. I've got to change this combination. I realized I had it too long. I don't know about you guys, but I like to change mine fairly frequently. Dude, I was in here, was walking around. I have them here. One thing I was going to talk to you guys about later on this week is the grinding systems we use, why we use, how we use them, what we do with them. This is the one I'm going to be showing you guys. It is the Graco 1013 DC or DCS with the digital depth control system. This one has the little up and down to control it, but that's not for today. That is going to be later on in the week because we've got a little bit of grinding to do. We are in Cambridge or Huntingdon, I think actually, on Tuesday, doing some work on concrete. And when we work on concrete, we always grind the floor first. Now, arguably, we've got smaller grinders that might be pretty good to use, but I really like that grinder. Come on, buddy. Anyway, I really like that grinder, seeing as I spend so much money on it. Believe it or not, that grinder, I think, sent me back about 15K, give or take. And then I had the driving unit for about 7 grand on top. So it's about 22 grand. And that doesn't include the cutting drum that goes on it. Believe it or not, the drums on that are like 14 grand. If you want to go for like a PCD, it's crazy. Carbide tip PCDs, mega money. Anyway, let's head up to the office. And I think we got the delivery just turned up. I have been looking forward to this for weeks. Now this is the new uniform which we get from Workwear Express. Now arguably we could go to a whole host of different places to get our uniform, but Workwear Express is owned by Bunzl, and Bunzl is one of my customers. And so all of my spend on uniform goes back to my customer, Bunzl, AKA Workwear Express. Let me try it on. I can't wait for this. Oh, nice, like a little fashion show. Let me try strutting it down. Hold on. This is not super roomy. Damn. Yeah. What do we think? This new, let me move the mic. Oh, the new jackets, which I think pretty cool. Even got the branding on the arm this time. Nice, got it on the chest. I actually, I like it. You know what, I bought large. This made me realize that actually I maybe have put on a little bit more weight than I at first thought, but what do you reckon? I think pretty cool. See what else we got. So that's one. That's more of like a summery hoodie style, if you like. I think it's okay. Quite happy with that one. Oh, the new t-shirts or polos, because I typically wear t-shirts like this, and I like t-shirts. I'm a t-shirt wearer, but when I go out and meet clients, I just feel a bit underdressed in a t-shirt. And so, 1 second, what do you reckon? I like it. I think it feels more professional. Again, this midriff really filling it out, getting closer to 40. But hey, got the branding on the arms, on the chest. Think it looks smart, comes with our company colors because, you know, same as all of our branding in Linemark is always red. I really like it. Next up, the uber expensive jacket. These things are like 160 pounds for these ones. They are super expensive. Oh, it's thick. It's really nice feel though. Wow. That's funny. Look, in Europe, this is a large. In the US, this is only a medium. What does that tell you? Oh, wow. Jeez, this is luxury. Oh my God. This is a little hard to show you guys on camera, but like, whew, if this weren't just a work jacket, like I'd wear this out. I mean, I'd look a tit, but when it comes to quality, god damn, that is good. Ah, you know what I remembered? We couldn't get it on the arm of these ones because it's got this big flash thing that comes down. It's a mascot one. Realized my mic's hidden underneath it. We did get it on the chest, but we couldn't go this side because this side is like a reflective panel. Look at that. Yeah, like it. So it's like a reflective panel, but it's also got a zipper thing, so we couldn't actually get on that side. But ultimately, this is just the fleece version. I'm roasting. This thing is really hot, like sweaty hot. Yeah. So what do you guys think? I went for it with like the darker sort of blue at the bottom with the flashing stripe things. Yeah, I'd definitely packing out the middle. But hey, it's a bulky fleece. This thing is really top quality. I have to say, I really like it. Supposedly breathable. In fact, you can see like the sort of wicking that you've got inside to make it breathable. Unlike this one, which is, I mean, it's the whole thing. It's very lightweight. Great for summer if I'm going out on a site visit. But of course, one of the other things I would probably wear, because this is all still quite hot, although the weather is up and down. We actually have new high-vis jacket styles. Now these ones, a little bit different because some of the places we go to, they have like this all-around PPE where you can't have it unzipped or anything else. You can only have it done up properly. This one's got some more generous room to it. Nice, I don't feel so bad anymore. But this one I can zip up. So I personally think you look a tit in high vis no matter where you go and which color you go for. But again, branded, got the nice pocket. Don't know what I'm gonna put in there. Get an ID badge, little Postman Pat delivery badge, pocket on the side if I wanna feel extra like country, I guess. Yeah, I'm liking it. Polos are the best. I'm going to wear this out to my meeting. In fact, I got 2 meetings to get to in London, and so one in London, one just outside London. Now the guys today, they are in Preston, and unfortunately, I can't show you the footage, I don't think, because this is for a gas plant for Cala Gas, and Cala don't let us bring any form of electronics on site normally. It's very rare we're able to. The difficult part there is we also need to give them pictures of our work once it's completed for evidence, but at the same time, we're not allowed to take cameras on. So we'll figure out which way we can do it. Hopefully, we can get some pictures, at least to satisfy the customer, but failing that, who knows? Anyway, I'm gonna keep this one on, but I'm gonna hit the road because I gotta get to the next meetings, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going down to Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire, so failing getting the footage from tonight, let's jump to tomorrow. I'll show you what we're up to down there. Let's keep going. This has to be one of the trickiest car park repairs to do, although the most of it is pretty good and easy. Just a standard multi-story. It's the top level, which we're just getting to here, where it's not in a great state of repair. So, this is the surface. Now what we're going to look to do is replace this. Now if you look at the surface ever so slightly, okay, so it's got like a, it's a waterproof membrane, more than likely a sort of Sika product, something like that. I'll have to check. But ultimately you can see the damage here. So where it started to break down, you see how uneven it is. I mean, this is raised by, I don't know, 5 to 10 mil. Let me get a close up. So it's really rough. And unfortunately, it's all the way along the car park. We've also got to redo bits of things like this, for example. It's been done previously multiple times. As you can see, what we're going to have to do is try and take it out, redo it all so it's all one color. We don't want the yellows, everything's going to be in white with the green walkways along here where they've got things like these arrows. Let me show you, sorry. The arrows have all got to come out that we don't want. So these have previously been blacked out by somebody. And again, It's in a really poor state of repair. I mean, look at some of these ridges are over a centimetre high. If I lay my finger up to it, they're almost as high as that. It's in a really poor state, and obviously this is leaking into the lower levels as well. So we've got to look to repair these, take out things like the arrows that are no longer needed, put back into the one we do need, try and get this repaired. Look, I mean, we've got holes straight through the membrane. Now, I've got to be honest, this is not my favorite surface to work on. Something like this, I'm looking at it thinking, we've got to take stuff out, we've got to do repairs, there's deep gouges and everything, there's things like this where it's been sort of redone, but not to an amazing standard. It's then been sprayed on top, different products that you can see down here. The customer wants this to look amazing. Now, they're planning on recruiting another 400 people, so they need all the levels of the car park to be operational. We've got to make it look good, we've got to make it functional, but of course, it's going to come at quite a high cost looking at redoing all of it. So we've also got all the parking bays to go in. So let me show you here. You can see these aren't too bad. Like, the surface itself is actually in a pretty okay state of repair. It's been resprayed a few times here. So you can see here, it's in an okay state of repair. That's workable. It's all the damage. Looks quite bad to me. Then do you have to grind it, take it all out, shot blast it, and redo the lot? Let me show you the next level down. This one's got damage. I mean, you can see the cracks. These cracks run all the way along the surface, and it's got moss growing all the way through it. You know, they've been done a few times. You can see where they've sort of moved the lettering over, different sizes. So you've got a mix of yellow from white, then it's all been blacked out and redone again. All of this needs to be repaired before we can reline it. Now, it's not loose, so if I'm, you know, rubbing my hands over it, there's nothing loose at all. It's still a really solid surface, but I just wouldn't be happy, you know, you could cheap out and essentially just spray over the top, and it would be doing a massive disservice. But of course, it comes down to budgets, and it's not going to be a 5-minute, couple £100 job, is it? It's quite a big one. This is fairly tricky. We've got to decide, can we do, for example, instead of redoing the whole car park, because it's quite a big one, can we cut out a section here all the way up to the end and redo, and just literally resurface this one piece here? So sort of stop at the walkway line, if you like, just before the parking bays, and redo the center section where the main bulk of the damage is. In fact, I don't even think we need to do like the middle piece over here. We could probably get away with taking out a section here, resurfacing this one little piece here. Now, it will stand out, but there's so much damage. I mean, if I show you a close-up of these are the arrows. It's in my shadow. Hold on one sec. So you can see the damage to the surface. It's quite bad. This is just one of the areas. Now, this needs to come out and the other arrow put back in. I mean, look at the state of this. Some of these are maybe a centimetre high. Quite a lot of extensive damage. Now, if I'm looking at this, like, none of it's loose. Like, I couldn't break it off, so it's not loose in any way. It's just really, really badly damaged. So the question is, can we, in effect, resurface a section, take out these arrows, re-waterproof it, put the arrows back down again, and I appreciate it won't quite blend because it'll look a little bit different in terms of color, but it would save the customer, because this is on 2 levels. We've got another level over here to look to redo again. So the question is, will it save the customer an awful lot of money for looking ever so slightly, you know, a little bit unsightly, but watertight at the very least? So that's kind of where we're at with it. So I'll put this one together, have a look. I'm sure we can come up with something great for it. But that's it for the first visit of the day. Got one more to do. So we'll head up to the next one in Harlow. Yeah, see how we get on. Okay, so Lee's waiting for me on site in Huntingdon. I'm supposed to be there already, and I'm late simply because I had calls, customers calling, and I'm rocking the German overalls today. You know, I recently went to Germany, and everybody that's a professional wears these bad boys. Anyway, I figured get myself a pair, got some for the guys. I love them, to be honest. Right, let's head to Huntingdon, let's get the lines in, see what's going on. I don't even know where I'm going, but get the address off of Lee, find out where it is we're actually heading to. Do you know what I'm also concerned about? It is, I mean, it's stopped raining, but it hasn't stopped raining all day. It stopped just now, and it's like 3:30 in the afternoon. It's only just given up. So hopefully, nice and shaky on this road. All right, I think we're just about here. This is quite a posh looking little farm. Big cows. Change of plan because it's still raining. There's no chance of getting anything down in this weather. We've got to wait for it to stop raining, but it is about there for the day. So what we'll do is we'll book it another day, come back, get it down. The problem with concrete, it soaks up the moisture because the concrete's porous. You've got to be so careful when you do it. So we'll run it over the dryer, but it's still not going to be right in my opinion. It needs to be really dry. That's really annoying because 1 minute it's absolutely hammering it down, the next minute it's dry again, it's stopped raining, and you're thinking, well, I'll wait 10 minutes and we'll get it down. And then you wait 10 minutes, it's dry, all of a sudden starts peeing down again. You just think, for God's sake, this is bloody annoying. It's not actually, like, I'm looking at it now, we're driving away, and it's like, I've got the window open, it's spitting, it's not too bad, and I sort of think, it'll be fine, we'd grind it, prime it, get it painted, it'd be all right. And then as soon as we get the gear back out again, it just starts raining again. You just think, oh, what's the point? It's just, in fact, there you go, I can feel it now. There's me saying, like, it'd be absolutely fine if I turn the camera around. Now you can see it's sort of landing on the windscreen, it's starting to get wet again. And that's what it's just been like the whole time, unfortunately, on this one. So the plan is to come back here on Sunday now. What we've done is we've run the dryer over some of the areas, and then we've left chalk marks on the ground. Those guys are going to stay off that part, and hopefully we come back Sunday. It's a nice sunny day for a start. Well, it should be anyway. We can then just get the lines down, make it nice and easy. My biggest worry with putting lines down when it's like this is, yes, we can stay, put it down and just crack on with it, but am I doing the customer the best service, or am I kind of, I don't know, am I giving them a bit of a shit service in that respect? Because I know it's not the best way to do it, and I know they won't last as long. And so I kind of feel that I've got a duty of care to actually say to the customer, look, this isn't the best way for us to do it. We are better off waiting for it to completely stop raining. Although it's only spitting, it keeps on and off, on and off, on and off. If we wait for it to completely stop raining, we can then grind it, prime it, paint it, seal it. It'll be perfect. Then I know it will last. And that's ultimately what the customer's paying for. They're paying for it to be done properly at the end of the day. They don't want us back. They just want it done right. So that's what we're doing. We're going to come back, do it on Sunday. Hopefully I'll be able to come out and film it as well, and I'll show you guys exactly what it's like. Anyway, that is it for Wednesday. Hey guys, welcome to Thursday morning. As you can see, it is a glorious start to the day. Yesterday didn't go quite so well with constant rain on and off. This morning, I'm up at the field here, got the horses, I don't know if you guys can just make out the horses in the background there. Just got to see these guys. And then today we're heading down to central London to Knightsbridge. Now, the customer we're working with today, they've got an underground car park and they've asked us to remark all of the parking bays, and it's on a brand new, freshly painted surface. Now, I questioned the customer because I couldn't go and see it before we agreed the project. Instead, he sent me pictures of it. And I said, okay, cool. I can work from the pictures, but looking at these pictures, it looks to me like you've got two different floor finishes or two different paint finishes, and it doesn't look amazingly well done. Can you tell me what's happened to the surface? Because for me, it's ringing a few alarm bells as a problem here. And he said, oh yeah, well, we had it painted and we weren't happy with the finish, and so we had them back out. They repainted it again. I said, okay, half the floor's matte, half of it is gloss. That's two different products you've got down. Can you tell me what the product is even? And he said, no, not really. We got the paints and everything else we ordered. And anyway, we put it all together. They got it all painted. And I just sort of thought, to me, it sounds like this is an internal job that's been painted, perhaps not done quite right, not prepared, and potentially not shot blasted. That's my main concern, because the whole floor's been painted red, and if it's not been prepared properly to start with, my lines aren't going to stick on top of this fresh coat of paint. Now, if it's another contractor that's installed it, I just don't think it is actually. But were it another contractor, yeah, I can see why they're not back, but I have a feeling it's an internal job. Anyway, today what we're going to do is try and put it right for them, painting the lines in, because they didn't want whoever painted it the first time to do the line markings for them as well. So we're going to head up there. We're using an epoxy paint for this one, and we're not going to be shot blasting the surface. They're concerned, for one, they haven't got access for the run generators and power, so we're a bit limited on what we can do. But two is it's only just been painted, and they said nobody's been on it since. It's literally just had a fresh coat of paint. We looked and thought, okay, we can prime it, epoxy, seal it. Maybe that'll work nicely. If that doesn't, then we are going to have to shot blast your floor, and really that's the better way to do it. But of course, you know, it's up to the customer if that's what they want to go with. So anyway, let's run down to central London. We'll see how well it goes. I'll show you guys there. I've only been here 2 minutes, I've already upset the plans. If you guys remember back in week 1, we came to see Robert Dias and Hemel Hempstead, owned by Theo Paphitis from Dragon's Den. Well, today we're doing the install. So the original walkway we put in is this one here. It's got red chalk that we've just spilt from the string line. The red lines that you see along the ground here, this is where we're going to be separating out the bays. The blue lines denote where the text is going, so these are going to be numbered A to F, I believe, or A to E, sorry, going in here. So between the blue lines, the A to E. The red lines that you see running along the floor here, these are going to be the pallet bays so that they can store stillages. So all of these cages here are what we want to store efficiently in lines. And so they're going to sit in there. Then what we've got is a walkway coming from that yellow running all the way down here and that is going to join up here. But I've just come in and said, actually, I think it would look better if we had the walkway going off at an angle. Reason being, this walkway here, if you look at it, it's actually really, really wide, and we're limited on how much room we've got before we hit the racking. And what I don't want is a wider sort of walkway this end, then it goes narrow into the racking and goes square. Now that would look normally fine were this bit of yellow on the floor here not so wide. But in order to keep it looking uniform, I think we come off at a slight angle like this, and then join onto our walkway, and that runs all the way up to the yellow at the end. Now this is what I had in the original plan. This is what I just spoke to the guys about. It was on the video that I produced for them as well, but I'm just going to check with the client to make sure they're definitely happy with that, because once we shot blast it onto the floor, there's no going back, it's done. So let's have a quick chat with the customer, make sure that's definitely what we're going to do. Cool, so we get the shot blaster lined up. Now with a shot blaster, what's a really good idea, we've got it on the other one, but this is a brand new shot blaster. And we have a little plate welded on the top here with an arm that comes down, and we sort of fold it down, and that allows us to get a straight edge. What we're looking for when we're doing our straight edge, the edge of the machine just here, this is where the shot blast is going to run up to. It's a couple of millimeters inside that, but that's essentially what it is. And what we want to do is have a sort of a steel rod, if you like a guideline that will sort of join on here and give us a bit of a straight edge. The alternative to that, of course, is to fit a laser on. Now, because this is a three-phase system that doesn't have a neutral, we need to convert that down to 12-volt DC, which is a bit of a pain, to be honest, but we can do it. The way we've done it on the other ones, we had to bolt a box on the back, fit a rectifier onto it, and got it to work that way. Now, when you're setting your shot blaster up, all you want to do is roll out all the cables that you can see here, check that there's no damage in the cables themselves, so we're looking for any damage, any kinks, any breaks, anything else. Then we're going to check the plugs as well, this end over here. So ours are all plugged in now. Then we're going to run it back over to our power supply. With the shot blaster in place, we'll connect up the vacuum necks that you can see over here. So this is just a nice push fit connection for the vacuum hose. Goes straight into the vacuum here, and then we're going to run the other end, so we'll pull the whole vacuum hose out again. And again, just like you've done with the cables, you want to make sure there are no breaks, kinks, no damage that's going to impact the vacuum and suction that we need from it. And then this plugs in straight onto the top of the shot blaster itself. And you just wind it normally to get it on, it will go on quite nicely. If you try and pull these straight out, you'll find that it just grips and it won't pull. You actually have to twist it to get it off. Now the shot itself is going to go in just here, and it's got a small plate inside that will gather things like this, dirt and debris. If I just put my hand in, I'll see what else we've got. All sorts like this. This is what we want to filter out before it's used. This is going to block our machine up. Now, the gate that you see on here, the little filter, that will stop all of this stuff going into the shot blaster itself, but it's always worth just giving it a clean first, seeing what we can pull out, make sure there's no contaminants, because there always are. Now, this is also going to pick up odds and sods like this, like nails, screws, whatever else, so just filter it through your hands and just get out everything you can. Lift it all out. Look at that, I think there's a blade come out there as well. All sorts in here. Now the thing I would do is also turn the vacuum on as well, and then as you're sifting it, you can sift in front of the vacuum like this, and it will take away any dirt and debris. So once you've got your machine cleared out, ready to go, we're just going to do one check over, make sure all the seals are good on the side. So for this one, we have got a little rubber seal just on the inside here, so we just want to make sure this is in good condition, firmly pressed down. Again, no damage, no breaks. Same with the seal that we've got on the side here. And then at the bottom, there's a small gate under here. We just want to make sure this rubber's over it. You're not leaking any shot out into this little captive area that you've got down here. And then we're ready to start. Now, this does have a set rotation. So as you'll see on the side here, the arrow will point down which direction it needs to be going. If it's not going the right way, it's usually a phase rotation, which means you need to change inside the plug. You can normally change one of the line conductors over, usually just sort of twisting it and it will turn. Now, what we're looking at is the fan inside here. You can just see, when we start it, we want to see that that's spinning the right way. If it's not, we're not going to get the right shot blast finish to the floor. So once that's ready, we're going to move the machine to the on position on the isolator, and then at the back of the controls that we've got here, we're going to adjust our speed. So if I just turn my speed down to start with, And then all we're going to do once we're ready is press the on button just here. Now, as soon as we're ready to start this up, the first thing I would do, turn my vacuum on first. With the vacuum itself, we've got like a small plunger on the top. Now you use this to clear your filter out, moves up and down like you can see here. All we're going to do is keep that in the locked position that you can see on here. And at the back of the vacuum, we've got our power supply. We're just going to turn this on. I'll turn it off for the time being so you can hear, but as soon as we've got that running, I'm now ready to turn my shot blaster on. So all I'll do is I'll walk up to my shot blaster. I typically set my speed between 1 and 2 depending on the surface and the speed I want to go at, but that's typically what you'll find. When you're doing the shot blasting, you will find that this needs a little bit of adjustment on each side depending on what you're trying to take up, whether you're going straight down onto a concrete surface like this or whether you're trying to take up an existing coating. That will all impact the speed that you can operate the machine at. Now you can of course operate with different shot mediums at different weights, but it's dependent on the machine you've got and the speed and what you're trying to take up. So for this one, I'm going to start it on 1. I'm going to pull the trigger, I'm going to see how I get on. Now the other way you can do it, you could turn it up a little bit higher and see how you get on, but I know that typically this machine doesn't work at that sort of speed, so maximum I'll really go to is 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shot the first piece in and I'm going to be looking at that surface to decide whether or not it's taking up enough for me or whether I need to redo it. So once I'm ready, I'll turn it on now and we'll get the shot blasting done. Getting right underway with the shot blasting now. So behind me, you'll see the shot blast lines that are in. These are the lines we're going to have for the pallet bays, or not really pallets, sorry, the cage bays that are going in. So they're already installed. All we've got to do is tape them and paint them. Now we've gone really wide on these. They wanted them 200mm wide, which is quite a wide line to put in. Let me show you close up. This is the sort of finish that we get from the shot blasting. So it roughens up that surface, cleans it, and it's literally ready to paint. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape these lines up and then put our paint down. Now we're actually going to be using an epoxy on this one. So it'll take a little while to dry, but it'll do a fantastic job. What we're just cutting in at the moment, we've got the letters that we've got in just down here that are going to go onto each of the bays. So Lee's cutting these in with the shot blaster, and then behind it, you see where it's gone over the red line here, for example. This is a walkway that we're going to do a full infill on, same as the yellow one you see at the back over there. So we're going to shot blast this entire floor area all the way up to here, and then I just need to wait for the customer to tell me that they're definitely happy with me cutting in at an angle, and then we're all good to go. And then we can start getting the, once the shot blasting is done, it's probably, what are we now? We're now 20 to 1, quarter to 1, give or take. So I would say we've probably got another hour on shot blasting to get all of this in, all of this little area over here in. Yeah, about an hour to go, an absolute max. And then we're ready to start painting out. This just about cleanest corner I've ever seen. So these ones here, you can see them crossed over, that's all good. Because what we're doing is shot blasting all the middle of this now in a second. And then all the way up here, all of that's getting shot blast. Beep, beep. All of that's getting shot blast as well. So we'll repaint that pad, just make it nice and tidy. Redo all of these. John's just taping up, so you can see the tape going down here. So this is what we'll do, we'll paint everything in between. Now the customers decided they don't want to go 200mm wide on the lines anymore. We're going to now drop back to 100mm because they were concerned it now actually looks quite big now they're looking at it, which I agree. You know, 200 is very, very wide, but 100mm is nice and tidy. The downside now, of course, is we've shot blasted for them, so the only thing we can do is seal it all back in. So we'll paint the lines at 100mm wide, but we'll reseal all of the shot blast area so that everything blends in nicely for them. And this is looking absolutely incredible. What we're going to do next is cut these joints out so that our lines go all the way across. So we just use a Stanley knife and just cut straight over these little joints here. Oh, stiff. Hey guys, it is the end of week 5. It's been a fantastic week. I actually did my very first webinar this week, and I'll be honest, I was a little bit apprehensive about it, but it went really, really well. So I'm definitely going to be doing more. If you guys are interested in finding out what the webinars are about, head over to linemarking.expert, and yeah, I'll see you guys there. But you may be wondering, at the end of the week, what is this? Well, you know how I go on about the Graco 5900 being my all-time favorite machine, never lets me down, absolutely amazing bit of kit, perfect thing to use every single time? Well, yeah, I broke it, and hey, I figured it's done over £1 million worth of line marking, that machine. And eventually, all good things do come to an end, and unfortunately that was the end of the pump on the Graco 5900. In fact, it wasn't the pump, it was the packings. So anyway, I decided I would do the repair myself. Got the packings sent out, spent 300 odd quid on buying them, and thought, nah, I'll be done in half an hour, 20 minutes tops. Turns out I put them in wrong, couldn't get it to pressurize, and this, let me show you, is the return of my favorite machine ever. You just open this up. Ah, thing of beauty. This is my all-time favorite Graco 5900. Oh, and I love it. Back from repair. Nicely sorted. Now it was a fairly expensive repair all in. I think it actually sent me back better part of £500 to get this thing back on the road again, so to speak. But I'm telling you, for what I paid, I think 8 grand to buy it, maybe 2 grand for the laser, so probably 10 grand. And then I've done one repair for £500. So for 10,500, it's delivered £1 million worth of line markings, which is absolutely incredible. And that's the only repair I've done on this machine. Not bad going. If you guys are ever interested in Graco machinery, we get ours from 2 places. We go to Spray Direct and we go to Meon. Both of them do the Graco line laser systems that we use, and I would recommend you guys check them out for it. Anyway, that's it for week 5. I will see you guys in the next one.